Here's a number that stopped me in my tracks when I first read it. So the average person, right, consumes an extra 300 to 500 calories a day without even knowing it. So that's not from meals, that's not from snacks that you planned, it's from eating when you're on autopilot. The bites, the taste, the just a little bit there, the food that just happened without a conscious decision being made, 300 to 500 calories a day. That's equivalent to gaining 15 to 20 kilos a year just from eating when you weren't paying attention. So just have a think about what that means. What that means is you could actually shave off 300 to 500 calories a day just by being more mindful about what you're eating, or by stopping the eat by mistake thing that happens. You know, we spend so much energy thinking about what we eat, reading labels, choosing salads over chips, cutting out the carbs, and yet the research tells us that we're eating when we're not even aware, and that could be doing more damage than any of our conscious food choices. I'm Shireen Chinnock, and this is habit number 3 in my series, The 10 Worst Habits for Your Health. Today we're talking about mindless snacking. Not the snacking that you plan, the snacking you don't even realize you're doing. What it's actually costing you, why your brain is almost wired for it, and the simple shifts that break the cycle, without dieting, without restriction, and without white-knuckling it on willpower. So what is mindless snacking? Well, mindless snacking is eating that happens outside of conscious awareness. So it's not driven by hunger, it's not driven by choice, but it's driven more by cue or habit or environment. Food psychologists found that in a recent study, people make over 200 food decisions a day and are only aware of about 15 of them. Let me say that again. 200 food choices, 15 conscious ones. I mean, that's good news, right? Because clearly it's not a willpower problem. It's actually an awareness problem. That's the good news, but unfortunately there is bad news, because beyond the calories, mindless snacking disconnects you from your hunger signals. So when you're eating constantly in response to environmental cues rather than genuine hunger, your body's ability to read its own signals starts to deteriorate, and you lose touch with what actual hunger feels like. You lose touch with what full feels like, and that unfortunately results in overeating, poor food choices, and a very complicated relationship with food. As with most of these sorts of habits, it's not entirely your fault. Our environment has been engineered to make mindless snacking almost inevitable. I mean, just look around you. Unlike 10 years ago, today's sweet treats are available everywhere. You are literally never more than 5 minutes away from a tasty treat. No longer is this the domain of grocery stores and cafes. Today, you're relentlessly triggered with snack options everywhere you go. I mean, there's lollies and sweets in pharmacies, news agents, the local post office, even just walking down the street. It's impossible to avoid. And then we have ultra-processed foods, designed to hit what scientists call the bliss point, the precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that triggers the maximum dopamine release by bypassing all the satiety signals. So foods that taste amazing and don't trigger your off switch. Have you ever stopped to consider why you couldn't possibly drink a cup of pure oil, but yet that's the same amount of oil in a large pizza or a double cheeseburger? These foods are literally designed to make you eat more than you intended. And then there's your food environment. The more visible and accessible food is, the more we eat, regardless of hunger. Your brain sees food, registers a reward opportunity, and sends a signal, eat, even if you're not hungry. And then the deepest layer, emotional eating. Most mindless snacking isn't about food at all. It's about emotion regulation. Stress, boredom, loneliness, fatigue. We reach for food because it delivers fast, reliable comfort. Carbs trigger serotonin. Serotonin triggers dopamine. Your brain learns, feels bad, eat, feel better. And the more automatic that becomes, the less aware you are that it's happening. But I'm sure you already know a lot of this. The question is, how do we stop? Not with diet, not with willpower, because as we know, willpower fades, and it is really no match for the power of our environment, our triggers and psychological cues. We need to tackle this in a different way, with something that's actually going to work. We're going to change our habits by addressing the 2 most important factors. Number 1, awareness, and number 2, environmental design. With this in mind, I've created a simple 5-step plan, which I call SPACE. So SPACE stands for S, stop and ask, am I actually hungry? P, plate, sit it down, no screens. A, arrange your environment to work with you. C, check your emotions before you eat. And E, eat deliberately, planned, portioned, real food. So let's get into the detail. Step 1, before you eat anything outside a meal, pause and ask yourself, am I actually hungry? What am I feeling? You might still eat, but at least you're choosing it consciously. That changes everything. Step 2, create eating occasions, not grazing habits. Sit down, put your plate on a food, eat without a screen. Research shows eating in front of the TV means you eat more and you feel less satisfied. Step number 3, redesign your environment. Move unhealthy snacks out of sight and store them in a cupboard, not on the bench. Pre-prepare healthy snacks and keep them visible. You can't reach for a healthy snack that isn't there. What's accessible is what gets eaten. Make your environment do the work for you. Step number 4, identify your emotional triggers. Notice what's happening when you reach for food outside of meal times. Name the emotion, then address it directly, not through food. Step number 5, if you snack, snack deliberately. Choose snacks with high protein and fiber, nuts and fruit, vegetables, Greek yogurt, hummus, planned, real food, portioned, and sitting down. The goal is awareness. You can't change behavior if you can't see it. Tonight, I want you to give your eating habits some space. Go back and review the acronym. When you feel the urge to reach for something outside of a meal, pause. 5 seconds. Ask, am I hungry? What am I feeling? That 5 seconds is where the change actually begins. So drop it in the comments. What's your biggest mindless snacking trigger? Is it stress? Is it boredom? Is it TV time? Is it late nights? I read everyone. I'm really interested to hear what you think. Subscribe for the rest of the series. There are 7 more habits to go. And share this with someone who you think might need it. See you in the next one.